Hello and welcome to week 6 of the Transfer Portal CFB Gambling Show. I'm joined by Matt and Andrew. Guys, how we doing?
I'm back. I finally had a positive week and I wasn't even here.
Yeah, I think I went even like for the third week in a row. Yeah, we're in a speed of things with conference play now.
I mean, I told you like before we even started, I have no can't lose parlay for this week because my parlay last week literally lost on the first game, the game that I was in attendance for. I am done with can't lose parlays until the foreseeable future.
Yeah, but before we get into the slate, a quick word from our sponsor. Winning season has officially returned, and with the NCAA back in action, plenty of opportunities to win at MyBookie. We're now in week 6. Whether you're a season bettor or a first timer, MyBookie gets you the most for your money with a double deposit up to $1,000. To claim your bonus, sign up and use promo code TRANSFER on your first deposit. You'll instantly double your money with MyBookie. It's simple. First-time bettors make a $100 deposit, and that puts $200 in your account. And you can use your funds to bet on as many individual games, contests, props, or can't lose parlays as you want. Bet on team win totals. Make a live pick to win the Mountain West Conference, whatever you want. The MyBookie prop builder. Give yourself the edge you need and secure the bag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. All right. I love that we're sponsored. Like I'll never get old. We'll go to the slate. I think the Friday slate is not as promising as previous Friday slates.
But I really liked last Friday.
What's that?
I really liked last week's Friday, and this one is yucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got 4. I mean, there's at least one good game, but we're not going to talk about Nebraska Rutgers. We'll kick it off with Andrew. Got to play in Memphis, Houston, right?
I think I have picked Houston 4 times, maybe 5 times this year already in terms of picking them to cover spreads.
Probably like 0-4.
Yeah, they're 0-5 this year, and I'm done. I think this team is absolutely demoralized after the way that they lost to Tulane last week. They have ruined my can't lose parlay. They've ruined my can't lose parlay twice this year, actually, and I'm done. There's no other way about it. I'm done with Houston's whatever winning aspirations they had this year. Any point coverage, they could legit go 0-12 against the spread this year. I literally would not be surprised if they did or did not. For some reason, Vegas is still respecting them with a 3-point spread versus Memphis. Memphis only has 1 loss on the year, and that was against the unstoppable Mississippi State offense that is led by Will Rogers. Memphis is going to absolutely crush this 3-point spread. They're going to be Houston by at least 10 points. There's no way that Houston even covers this game.
Yeah, there's no bet for me because Houston has stuck it to me quite a few times like they have with you, but this is what's going to happen because you're betting against Houston. They're going to win outright. That's just how the cookie crumbles with you and Houston.
Oh yeah, they're going to cook up now.
Yeah, that's me with Texas Tech this year. Every which way I take Texas Tech, doesn't matter. I'll lose.
You know what? They probably will, and they'll probably win this game, and they'll probably make me believe again, and then I'll probably say bet on them the next week, and then they'll lose that game, and then I am back to square one. I mean, it's literally the have belief, and then it's the heartbroken circle of death, whatever you want to call it. It's just what I'm in right now.
It's the wheel of pain. Yeah, you're in a spin cycle of pain with this team right now. Very. So then we got 2 10:30 games. As of right now, UCF is winning 41-13, and I had UCF -2. So I'm starting the week off undefeated. I'm 1-0 right now.
Hey man, don't talk too soon.
I'm 1-0 right now. If they blow this live on the pod, we're gonna have an issue. ESPN's broken and says that it's 3rd and 45. They just fixed it though. All right, so my first play, my only Friday play, I'm going with Nevada -3, and Drewster's also on Nevada -3. And these are 2 very bad football teams. It's gonna be an awful game. But Colorado State is arguably the worst team in the country. Nevada, they beat New Mexico State week 0. I had Nevada in that game as well. Nevada. I don't know how to say it, but I had them. They cover that. I think they'll cover here against Colorado State. I think they win this game by 2 touchdowns, just because Colorado State's that bad. They just lost to Sac State by 31 in FCS school. So I'm not obviously I'm not confident in Nevada, but I think they will cover this game for sure. And then I know, Matt, that you have a talking point about that later on. And then I don't know if you guys want to get into it, but UNLV San Jose State that's the best game on the Friday slate. I think nobody has any plays in it, but it's interesting that San Jose State is a 7-point favorite. I know they're at home, but there's really no atmosphere there. And UNLV is a pretty solid Mountain West team right now.
We are picking this week. Picking this game this week in our pick'em, which you can track. I am in second place, so you can track that on our Twitter. I think everyone that has a pick in so far, I think, has put in San Jose State. So
right now, I'm looking at it right now. 2 are on UNLV. I honestly didn't know for the pick'em. Like I just took it because it's a touchdown. That's what my thought process was. But yeah, those are the Friday games for us. Moving on, so we're not touching the Michigan-Indiana game. Michigan is a big noon game for like the 6th week in a row, which is hilarious. But the first game that catches my eye, and I believe it caught your eye as well, Matt, is Tennessee LSU.
Yeah, I like this game a lot for the over. Tennessee, as we know, for the last 2 years, has been one of the higher paced teams in the country. They've kept that up this year. And LSU, while not being a good offense with Jayden Daniels, they've been improved from last year. Keishawn Butte has been a big disappointment, but they're able to put points on the board. And with Tennessee's pace, they should be able to cover this pretty easily, I think. Is that 66.5 last I checked? Let me see.
It's at 65 right now.
65 now, 65, yeah. So I think they should be able to cover that pretty easily.
Yeah, I like this. I think this game is probably gonna be on my TV for most of the noon slate. It's gonna be a very good game, but I think that it being at noon opposed to it being a night game kind of takes a bit of an edge away from LSU, because Death Valley at night is a completely different animal than it is at noon, in my opinion. So Andrew's on this with me as well. I'm on Tennessee minus 2.5. I just think that at the ESPN, the FPI is giving LSU a 58% chance to win this game, but I think Tennessee's a better football team. I love Hendon Hooker. I think that he's way better than Jayden Daniels. I think Tennessee just is the better team, and I think they should be ranked 8th for sure. I don't know if LSU should even be ranked. So I get why they're only getting what's up?
Oh, you can finish. I was gonna.
Yeah, I get why Tennessee's only, if this is a neutral site, Tennessee gets a touchdown, but it's only 3 because they're in the Bayou. So if this game's at Tennessee, they're probably a 10-point favorite, in my opinion. I think they win this game by 2 touchdowns. They're gonna just blow LSU out of the water and show people that they're gonna contend for the SEC East this year.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. If this game is a neutral site, they're at least a touchdown favorite. They're like just from top to bottom, they're better at almost every single position than LSU.
Yeah, and I know
can we ignore real quick, or talk a little bit about how Mississippi State was a favorite going into LSU literally about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they got smacked by LSU.
Yeah, but I think Tennessee's a better team than Mississippi State.
They're a better team defensively. I think I can agree with that. But I think Will Rogers right now leads the country in pass touchdowns. They're among the most explosive offenses in the country, and I think they only scored 13 points at LSU. I don't think it's the same.
Will Rogers throws the ball 50 times a game. I'm not shocked that he leads the country in most passing stats, because he does it every year. He always leads he's up there on yards and touchdowns because he constantly throws the ball. And yeah, Mississippi State is a very good offense, but I just think that Mike Leach he's kind of outdated at this point with the air raid, because I hate that he marches down the field just slow and just keeps throwing the ball. I think that you could say that Mississippi State has a better offense that you want statistically. Tennessee is 10 times more explosive than Mississippi State. They have no guys other than ducking that are going to beat you or shock you when you get on the offensive side of the ball. So I just think that Tennessee is more explosive. I think Hendon Hooker is going to completely take over this game.
Yeah, and it's not like we're talking about Hendon Hooker as like like I think Hendon Hooker is pretty much better than Will Rogers in a lot of ways. If he
Yeah.
threw 50 times a game like Will Rogers did, I think he would have as much, if not more, stats than him. And he's obviously a much better runner than Will.
I'm just saying, prepare to be disappointed. I mean, that LSU atmosphere, it affects everybody differently.
Was that game? What time was that game at though? The Mississippi State game.
It was nighttime.
Exactly. That was kind of my point before that. That's a night game. At noon, like everyone's just gonna be groggy. I know it's gonna be a great atmosphere, obviously, but those big ranked games being at noon just don't sit right with me. I think it's weird. So I think Tennessee. I'm not giving Tennessee I think Tennessee has the edge. That's what I was gonna say. I think they have the edge. But yeah, that's gonna be. I could be wrong. I don't think I am, but we'll find out. Moving on. I think I'm the only one with the play in this game, but I'm taking Kansas with the touchdown. I think Kansas can win this game outright. I know that TCU's been incredible. Their offense is incredible. I know on the upset show I picked Kansas to win. I kind of got pooped on a little bit, but game days in Lawrence, that place, the third straight sellout. It's going to be electric. They're going to cover the touchdown. Even if they don't win, they just have to cover. I just think that they're going to be way too fired up to lay an egg because this Kansas team, they've proven to us so far that they're different. And if they win this game, they are a contender for the Big 12, arguably.
I did have a play in this one. I have TCU covering the touchdown.
Yeah.
I think both of these teams have been surprises together this year. In my when I did the Big 12 preview, my bet for TCU is I don't know whether this team's gonna be really good or really bad, but I know they're not going to be around their win total because their win total was 6.5 or 7.5. And I said, I know they're not going to be around this. So my bet was on them to win the Big 12 because if they're going to do anything, they're either going to suck and Sonny Dykes is going to be out of there or they're going to win. And I just think he's come in and that this team gels a lot better. And I think Iowa State kind of put out the blueprint on stopping the Kansas team because they put up 14 points last week and Iowa State just kept shooting themselves in the foot. Couldn't do anything about it. Obviously, TCU's defense isn't as good as Iowa State's defense is. This game's going to be a shootout. Mm-hmm. But I think TCU's defense is gonna be able to stop Kansas offense a couple times. I can't say the same the other way. I think TCU is gonna march down the field every time they get the ball. So I have them covering by a touchdown.
I covered this game in our Power 5 game of the week with Adam and our for the article. Kansas currently has the 112th ranked pass defense in the country right now, and TCU, I believe, has the most efficient passing offense in the country right now. Max Duggan is currently leading the country in passes per attempt right now, as well as TCU averaging over 48 points per game. And the issue that I have with Kansas right now is their offense was fire all cylinders in the first 4 weeks. But then for some reason against Iowa State at home, Jalen Daniels only went 7 for 14 for 93 yards. And then he only had 11 yards in rushing for the game. This is if he puts up an even similar performance against TCU is going to win this game by 28 points. Kansas needs to stay aggressive the whole game, and if they don't, they're going to fall behind at halftime. Kansas right now, for as good as they've been, they're not a team that I look at that I think are going to play well from behind because they are primarily a rush first offense right now. Jalen Daniels, while he did have 324 yards against Duke, that's not something that he's going to do every week. Even when he lit up the Houston defense, he only had about 190 yards, but he had damn near 200 yards of rushing. That's not going to work against TCU. TCU has one of the better rush defenses in among all Big 12 teams right now. This is just where Kansas could be in a major disadvantage if they fall behind early.
I think this game is basically going to come down to Jalen Daniels. If Jalen Daniels shows out this game, it'll be a close game. Kansas will probably cover. If he doesn't show out, and I think he there's a good chance he does. He's a stud. I've loved what he's shown this year. But if he doesn't show out, I don't think the Kansas team has what it takes to hang with this TCU team on offense.
Yeah. So we talked about the TCU defense. If I could kind of counterpoint it, I talked about this on the upset show as well. But Kansas I know that their defense isn't incredible and that Iowa State's offense is also not good.
The defense is bottom 30 in the country.
No, but so what I was going to say was that against Iowa State, they only let up 11 points. I know they shot themselves in the foot, missed a bunch of field goals, but they kind of proved to me at least that they can win in more than one way. Like they can settle down and win a low scoring game like they did against Iowa State instead of running and gunning and and winning a shootout. Like they kind of showed to me that if this game comes down to a 1-score game late, they could pull it off or keep composure. It's just a completely different Kansas team. I know the defense was bad, but I'm not going to look at the bottom 30 stat. I'm going to look at the week ahead. And now you have film on TCU and their big plays. I'm not saying they're going to stop TCU's big plays, but you kind of can learn from Oklahoma's mistakes so you don't get beat again. That's just, I don't think it's a good defense, but they could learn from what Oklahoma did wrong.
Max Dugan also
I
has
agree.
yet to throw a pick this year also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's not the same Kansas team. They're no longer a meme. They're respectable.
Mhm.
So I think this should be a good game. This is probably one of the better games of the early slate.
Oh yeah, 100%. The noon slate's very good. I guess the next game we have on our card here is Mississippi State, Arkansas. We just talked about Mississippi State a little bit and Will Rogers. Andrew, I believe you have a play in this game, right?
I got multiple. Let me pull out my list right now. I know I got two. So my main thing was Arkansas has among the worst pass defenses in the country. They were the worst, and then they were overtaken by Ohio of all teams. Arkansas, I believe, still has the worst pass defense among all SEC teams. I mean, despite Bryce Young not being there all the way, he still lit them up for the amount of time that he was out there. So I got Mississippi State over 34.5. This is in Starkville. That's one of the reasons why I like this play a lot. I think they're going to eclipse the 5 touchdowns with ease. And also, I love the -5.5 first half against Arkansas as well.
I like those. I think Arkansas. I don't think Arkansas is a very good football team.
Yeah, I completely agree. Arkansas's pass defense is very, very bad. I think Will Rogers will light them up. I like Mississippi State this year. One of my best friends went there, so I've been rooting for them. I think they're gonna just smoke Arkansas. They're gonna blow them out. And then the next game, I don't think I'm just going down kind of what we have and the ESPN, the way that they line everything up. Texas, Oklahoma, I don't think that anybody's an official plan, but I'm kind of leaning Oklahoma getting the touchdown. I know Oklahoma's coming off 2 really bad losses, but I don't know if they win this game outright. I think it's going to be closer than a touchdown just because these are 2 teams that are trying to build their year back up and not be just absolute embarrassments as it's happened in the past to them. And I think it's just going to be a hard fought game, and a touchdown is where it should be. It's going to be a little bit less. I think Texas could win by like 3 or 4. It's going to come down to a kick at the end, in my opinion. But I would lean Oklahoma there. I don't think Texas is good enough to blow them out.
I don't have an official play on the spread in this game, but I do have a play on the total. That'll be in my parlay later.
Everything about this game screams death trap to me.
Yeah.
This is typically how it is every year with this game.
Yeah, it always is. It's always a fun game, though. It just kind of stinks that both these teams also stink. But yeah, we'll move on. Purdue, Maryland is a very interesting Big Ten matchup because Maryland has kind of proven that they're not a joke anymore. And Purdue, who was not looking good, came off a big win at Minnesota. And Matt, I think you have a play in this, right?
Yeah, I have Maryland -2. It's 2.5 where I got it. I have them -2.5. I think they're getting. I think Purdue's getting too much respect from a Minnesota disaster class last week. That, like, obviously, yes, great win for them. They needed that to stay relevant in the Big Ten West. But I think that game was more about Minnesota collapsing than it was about Purdue beating them. I think they're getting. I think they're far too much credit in that spread. So I have them -2. I have Maryland -2.5. I think their offense is going to be too much for Purdue. I think they're going to be able to score on them pretty easily.
I have the over at 59.5 on this game. I think if you paid attention to that Maryland game against Michigan, I think it proved that Maryland is a legit team. And that was the most lax that Michigan looked against a passing attack. And I really like Talia. I really like Raheem Jarrett. I think that there's a lot to like from this Maryland offense right now. This is in College Park in Maryland. And I don't know. I'm a little bit – here's the thing. The thing with Purdue right now, I don't even know if they have like a real identity. They're not a team that I can look at, oh, they're good. But at the same time, I can't look at them and say that they're bad, but like they always have these games where their offense just clicks on all cylinders. I still think Aiden O'Connell is probably the best quarterback in the Big Ten West at this point, based on how the whole conference is. It's pretty bad, really
I thought you
bad.
said the Big Ten. I was like, no, but
No, tell
Big Ten.
no. I'm not on crack yet, okay? But
I was like, what?
no, I do think these guys are going to have a shootout. I think Purdue would feel comfortable if they got involved in a shootout against this Maryland team. So, yeah, I think they're both going to crush 60 together.
Yeah, I like the over. I have an alt line in my parlay later on with Purdue. But I like that over. I think that Purdue was able to stop Minnesota last week because Tanner Morgan can't throw the football and they were running the ball with their backup running back.
Tanner Morgan finally went up against a defense.
Yeah, and even their defense isn't that good. Like,
no, it's not. But who has Minnesota played? New Mexico State, Colorado.
Yeah, they haven't really beaten anybody, and then they got exposed against Purdue. Yeah, I think that's gonna be
we could both, like, the three of us could literally go up on the Colorado bench and we could both be like, yeah, I could do a better job than Stroud right now.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Yeah, I like Talia a lot. I think their offense is really good, and I think that Purdue, their defense isn't great, but I think that means O'Connell will be able to put up points. So that over is a good play. I might add that later on. We'll see. But next up, Louisville, Virginia, two absolute disappointments this year.
Yeah, this is the teams we both had overs on when we did our ACC preview. It's both
I think I had the under on UVA.
Oh, I think I had the over on both. I think Louisville has a chance, but this is more of a perspective play from me. So UVA is getting +3 right now. Malik Cunningham's status in this game, from everything I heard, is very uncertain. And if he's out, he is their entire offense. So if he's out, this game is at UVA. This spread jumps to UVA -4.5.
The other way, I think.
Yeah. They'll be favored by a field goal or more, probably, because Malik Cunningham is Louisville's entire offense. Without him, this offense collapses. They were looking like they were going to win pretty handedly against Boston College last week, and he went down. They didn't put up a point the rest of the game. They needed one field goal for their backup quarterback. He did not put up a single point the rest of that game. So if he's down, I think this game is a big woof.
This
is an if play, but I have it right now just because if the spread jumps, I like that a lot.
You know what's not a bad idea? Just taking the money line right now let me check what it's at. I think it's at like 130 if they're +3, but that's not a bad idea because that's going to move a lot, like you said. So I kind of think that's brilliant of you.
Yeah, like I think Malik Cunningham is probably worth a touchdown to that spread. I think it's -100%, -4, -5 UVA if he's good.
+3 for UVA on DraftKings. Sorry, my bookie. I used the DraftKings line for a second. -120. So that kind of shows you the direction that the line's going to move in. Yeah, I might sprinkle that money on right now. I'm going to do it, honestly. Okay, next up. This is a Maction play for me. Bowling Green Buffalo. That's right, baby. I'm betting on the Bowling Green Buffalo game, and I'm taking Bowling Green money line. +120, I think it's at. Yeah, I like Bowling Green in this game. They were one of my picks in the upset show, and this is just a pure Maction play. Bowling Green has that win against Marshall after Marshall beat Notre Dame. They squeaked by Akron, fine, whatever. And then Buffalo is coming off 2 wins in the MAC, back-to-back conference wins, but they lost to Holy Cross week 2. So Buffalo is susceptible to blowing up and losing games. But I think Bowling Green, their quarterback, Matt McDonald, his touchdown to interception ratio is 13-1. He's been keeping them in games. It's a guy that me and Liam talked about in the MAC preview, that if he plays well, Bowling Green will play well and win games. And I think he plays well enough in this game to win, and he throws. We did a whole bit on the upset show, but the way he throws, he starts with the ball here and he winds up and throws it. It's hilarious. But I like Bowling Green in this game. I think them getting to it home. It's a long trip for Buffalo. It's just going to be a crappy game. It's going to be cold. It's going to be gloomy. This is a Bowling Green win for me, and I know you guys probably have no input on this because no one cares about this game. But I'm on Bowling Green.
Didn't even know they were playing this week.
The only 2 things that I know about Bowling Green was that I had a geography teacher in high school that went there, and the little bit that I keep up with Bowling Green is that they don't suck as much this year as they used to.
Yeah, they're actually like they're. I think their total was 3.5, and they have 2 wins right now. I just like when they get into a bowl. I mean, I love the MAC. I root for every single MAC team pretty much. And then next up for us, also, all right. So this is not a play for me. I don't think it's an official play for anybody. As we move, we're chugging along here. We're past the noon games. This is a 3:30 game. I don't think I know Auburn stinks, but Georgia getting 30 is a little. Georgia has not looked good whatsoever. Unless this is a game where Georgia's angry that they almost lost to Mizzou and they're just gonna beat the crap out of Auburn, which I could see happening. But yeah, that's just a giant spread for me.
Really, this is just another MAC angle. Kent State broke Georgia. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I look at every game from a MAC lens, really.
Kent State broke Georgia. Bama for the title. It's that simple.
The MAC dominates college football.
This is the type of game where people take Auburn plus 29.5,
and they lose,
and then they regret it by halftime.
Yeah, I brought it up, and I was talking about it. I was like, I'm not even going to touch this game with the 10-foot pole. But next up, I think this is the best game of the 3:30 slate. Yeah.
By the way, you forgot one of the very important games of the 11 o'clock slate.
Did I?
Yeah, the game that I got 2 plays on.
Which one?
Wait, hang on. Oh wait, never mind. No, it's a 2:30 game. Never mind. That game just screams.
I did this last week where I missed a couple, but yeah, I'm chugging along here. I was gonna go. Yeah, the Wisconsin game. Yeah, that's after we're gonna talk about Utah UCLA right now.
Not touching it with a 10-foot pole.
I got to play here against UCLA, one of 2 remaining undefeated teams in the Pac-12. They've looked absolutely dominant. They haven't had any close calls. It's been a real easy.
Oh yeah, they're chugging along. They should totally be 18th in the country.
Yeah, no, Utah only getting 3.5 this game is crazy. Utah's looked really good outside of that weird week 1 game. That week 0. That was week 1.
Week 1, yeah, against Florida.
Against Florida, and that in Florida was gassed up. It was probably one of Florida's biggest home games in years, and they came out and they had a good game. Anthony Richardson went crazy. The week 1 Anthony Richardson Heisman train was rolling. Nothing could stop Florida. And Utah had a bad game, and it was what it was. Since they've just been dominant. That obviously
State
level of competition with holding, they've been really good since. And I just the key to this one is stopping DTR for Utah, because what's up?
Yes, we were agreeing.
Oh yeah, because Charbonnet has been really good, but no running backs have really been able to gash Utah this year. The only time they really got ran on was when Anthony Richardson scrambled around, ran for 100 on them. If they can contain DTR in the pocket and make him beat them from the pocket, I think Utah wins this game by a touchdown. I don't think UCLA has the receivers or the passing offense to keep up with the Utah attack.
Yeah, so if I could play devil's advocate here, the offense is going to be completely on DTR. If he can play like Richardson played and kind of make the same plays, it's going to be a really close game, and UCLA could win. UCLA, I don't know if they figured Penix out, or Penix just played awful and went back to his Indiana ways, but the defense looked pretty good, I think, and I think that Penix looked better than Rising has. Rising's very good, but Penix has looked better until last Friday. But if UCLA can kind of shut down that offense, that's a big if, then they could keep it close. But I think that 3.5 I think you're looking pretty with 3.5. I think a touchdown is about where I think Utah will win.
Why? I think that was mostly in the first half, because I think obviously they were down 3 touchdowns at that point, but Washington's offense was clicking in the second half.
The fourth quarter they went off.
Because I think, let me check. Yeah, they scored a touchdown on every drive they had in the second half. So which obviously some of that's garbage time, some of that's whatever, but they had figured it back out.
Yeah, they had a chance to come back and tie the game late. They went down 8, and then UCLA got a bunch of first downs because Washington's defense was horrible. But yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I like the Utah play for sure. All right. So I'm going to talk at length about Liberty UMass right now. I'm kidding. We're completely kidding. Nobody should bet that game. If you can bet anything, say Liberty. Andrew, Wisconsin Northwestern. I know you're very excited for this one. You're very happy about how your Badgers are playing. They're ranked and playing fantastic. Well, how do you feel about this game?
The fact that this game is 44.5 in the point total, these people in Vegas are on crack. I don't know how you anticipate either of these teams getting 20 points. Northwestern, since they beat Nebraska, have arguably been the worst team in college football. Wisconsin probably has the worst offense. I don't know what the metrics are, but they've got to be among the bottom 5 in terms of the worst offense right now. They only had 2 rushing yards against Illinois last week. And how do you anticipate? I don't know how you see either of these teams breaking 20. I really don't. This game, it has like 13-10 written all over it. And like, for those that watched the Wisconsin preview with Colin Wild earlier this year, he literally said about how much it sucks to play at Ryan Field because they keep the grass like uncut. It's impossible to run through the grass. This 44, I don't know how this 44.5 under is not my lock, but it should be. Of course, I have another play on this game that is my lock, so we'll talk about that later. But 44.5, I mean, what analytics is there that one of these teams is going to break 20? I don't know how. This is going to be the ugliest game of football all year, and among any Power 5 matchup, this is going to be bad. I don't know why I'm excited for this game. I don't, because it's going to be horrible. It's going to be ugly. Like, this is going to be the ugliest. This is going to be the scary. Not even scary, like, is the right word, but like, this is going to be ugly than any blood that's going to dread on Halloween night. Like, this is going to be such a bad game.
Yeah, it's not going to be whatsoever.
There's a few of those this week. There's some ugly games out there this week.
You know what? While we talk about this later, I'm just going to see like where are these teams in the country in terms of offensive production, because they both got to be like bottom 10.
Wisconsin probably up a little bit just because they put up 66 on New Mexico State.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm doing a teaser right now live on the pod because I got really excited. I saw 3 Maction games in a row. So I'm going to talk about that in a sec because I love my Maction teasers. But yeah, let's move on. So after my Maction games, which I'm very excited about, Ohio State's going to beat the piss out of Michigan State because Michigan State's really bad. Then I think the next game for us is Duke Georgia Tech, right?
I do have a play in Duke Georgia Tech. Like I said,
it's supposed to be a yucky, poopy game. How do you? What do you? What is it?
So we talked about this in our ACC preview pod. We were predicting both of these teams to have one win coming into this game, and Duke's 4-1. Georgia Tech just knocked out a ranked team. We don't know what's going on here.
Very wrong.
But, Georgia Tech's getting, this is again a spread where they're getting a lot of credit based off what they did last week. Georgia Tech, great win against a ranked opponent, phenomenal stuff. That Georgia Tech is still a terrible team. They're dreadful. So Duke, while still also not good, has looked much better for the totality of the year than Georgia Tech has. And for them to only be getting 2.5 or 3.5 points, depending on where you're looking, I think that's crazy. I think Duke wins this game by a touchdown pretty easily. Georgia Tech's offense is absolutely anemic. They cannot move the ball at all. If Duke puts up 14 points, I don't know that Georgia Tech catches them. So I have Duke minus 3.5 here.
Yeah, I like that play because Duke has been able to move the ball a little bit this year. I know they moved the ball in Kansas. They moved the ball against UVA. Their offense is not as terrible as their offense has been in the past. But yeah, I actually do like that play now that you talked about it. And I might add that on later. But Andrew, did you find your stats for the bottom 5 offenses?
Yeah, it turns out I was way wrong. Northwestern, I had to double check my eyes on this. They're 70th in the country in total offense. They're currently averaging 404.8 yards per game, like total. And Wisconsin's like 81st with 388. I'm like, just because you ran all over like New Mexico State and whoever that and Southern Illinois,
Yeah.
like it's like, dude, like I saw y'all against Ohio State and I saw y'all against Illinois. Like, geez, give me a break. I saw you against Wazoo, man. Like, they're like sports reference. You got to fix your stats, man. Because like, give me games where like against Power 5 or conference opponents, because then we'd probably have a different conversation. Also, I don't know how Northwestern is getting 400 yards per game. I don't. That just sounds like
they just
fantasy.
run the ball a ton and give it to Evan Hull. But my party hat's on. So let's get ready for this fantastic matchup between two great teams, UNC, Miami. I think if we went through our ACC picks, we were just
looking bad.
horrible, terrible. Miami stinks. They're just bad, dude.
The only thing we got right was that Wake Forest is going to be good. That's all we got right.
Yeah, thank God we got something right. But I'll start this one off. I know you have a play also, Matt. I like UNC +4 just because I think their offense is really good and Miami doesn't move the needle on either side of the ball for me. I think it will be high scoring just because I could move the ball as a quarterback against UNC. Van Dyke got pulled against Middle Tennessee State, which Van Dyke was a Heisman candidate for you. Because I don't know what's going on in Coral Gables. There's just something in the water. It's bad. I just think they're coming off a bye, but they might win the game. I think UNC gets a 600 yards and they keep it close and they cover the game.
So I have it the opposite read, but in a different way. So I have the under here. So I think every game outside of them absolutely slaughtering Bethune Cookman in week 1, Miami has not been able to move the ball. They run the ball 50 times a game and they get 6 yards a carry and they have 8-yard drives that end up in field goals. Like their offense does not move the ball. There has been talk in camps and Mario Cristobal has said that he has confidence in Van Dyke and they're going to move the ball down the field more this game. I got to see it before I believe it. Josh Gaddis has proven that he wants to run the absolute piss out of the ball. And I think they're going to continue to do that. And I think they're just going to chew up the time of possession, then take 8 minutes to score a field goal. UNC is going to take 3 minutes to score a touchdown. That's how this game's going to go, I think. So I think it's going to be the under because I do like what Miami's defense has shown. I think James Williams is a stud. Their big safety's like 6'5" or 0. It looks cool out there. I think he's a stud. So I think this game is going to go under. It's going to be close. I think they'll probably get to around 60, but I think it's going to be the under here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we're both on the same UNC side of it. I mean, Josh Gaddis was just not the hire for this offense. He ruined Van Dyke essentially. It's not pretty sad to see.
Can't wait for Van Dyke to be great in the NFL.
He's gonna be good in the NFL.
I'll take all my tweets and I'll put them back up from being deleted.
Yeah, put them in the drafts. All right, next game. I'm going Meep. The Roadrunners to cover against Western Kentucky. They're 6.5 right now. I think they win by 2 touchdowns just because Western Kentucky is coming off a loss to Troy and UTSA is a better team than Troy. They are my favorite team in the Conference USA. I think they're the best team in the Conference USA. UAB is a close second, but
they just lost to Rice, man. Screw UAB.
Oh, they did. Yeah, I completely forgot they lost to Rice. I'd see it's UTSA's conference. I have them to win the conference. It's like plus 225, but I think it's going to be the total in this game is 73, which I want to take the over on, but it's just way too much juice for me. It's way too high. So I'm just going to go with the Roadrunners by a touchdown. I think they win by 2 touchdowns. Western Kentucky is going to throw the poop out of the ball. UTSA will stop them. They just got better athletes and they're a better team.
I like that play. I think UTSA wins this game pretty easily.
Because they were also, I mean, they just did to Middle Tennessee State, who everyone was so high on after they beat Miami, and they're just far and away the best team in the conference. So then we're coming down to it now, where we're getting to the end of our slate because I think we don't have a ton of 7:00 games. But did I take that game? I'm adding this to the card. I don't think I have it yet, but I'm taking UTEP. Money line against Louisiana Tech. I know UTEP hasn't been great this year, and I think they're coming off. No, they just beat Charlotte by a touchdown. They beat Boise State by 17. Louisiana Tech just got pumped by South Alabama 2 weeks ago, all coming off their bye. My lock was South Alabama, so I'm going to stick with the trend of fade Louisiana Tech. I don't think they're a good team whatsoever. They lost to Rice. They got crushed by Mizzou. They beat Savion F. Austin. Congrats. Got beat pretty bad by Clemson, crushed by South Alabama. I think UTEP continues the trend. They're a 3-point dog. I'm going to take the money line just because I want the juice. Next up for us would be so Army Wake Forest. I don't have an official play in this, and Drewster does. He has the over, which I like. It's just a little bit too high for me because Army couldn't score against Georgia State, who does a very good run defense, but 66 is high. But I think it could very well happen because Wake Forest's defense is bad and Sam Hartman is awesome.
They should have won that game against Clemson. God,
They really should have. They really should have. My 11-1 dream's still alive though. I said they'd lose that game to Clemson. Remember?
Yeah, DJU finally stepped up for a game. That was the only reason Clemson had a chance.
Yeah, it's true. And then I'm seeing now like DJ's getting Heisman hype, which will quickly fizzle out in the next 3 weeks because he's not good. And Drewster is also on Wazoo. Is it the Wazoo game? Yeah, Wazoo's at 7:30. He's on Wazoo plus 13.5 against USC, which I do like because Washington State proves that they can compete with these teams. They should have beat Oregon. They beat Wisconsin. Sorry to bring that up again, but
I don't care anymore. Paul Chris lost. I mean, he's not there no more.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I like the Cougars. I think they're probably my favorite team in the Pac-12 right now. Cam Ward is not as electric as we expected him to be, but USC is susceptible to maybe being upset. It happened at Oregon State. I know they're at home now, but not much of a raucous crowd there.
I think USC is safe until next week. Next week's the game of the year in the Pac-12, USC Utah.
Yeah, 100%. I think whoever wins that wins the conference. That's pretty much a little. I think they're on separate sides, right?
Yes.
I was getting. Okay. It's
Yeah,
the North.
Utah's north, USC south.
So this next one for me, it's probably a stupid bet, but scared money don't make money. I'm taking the Gamecocks plus 11 against. Oh my God, it's that touchdown now. Wow, I took 10.5. Holy crap! Why is it a touchdown now? I'm just looking at this right now. I don't want to take it as a touchdown. This live on the pod. This line moved on.
Did you already place the bet?
I took 10.5. Yes, last night. Yes.
So yeah, you're safe. I mean, you're safe. Viewers are not, but yeah, you're safe.
I put it on Tal.
Yeah,
why? Is there a reason that line moved so much?
It's just 6 on my side.
Yeah, did I put it on Tally? That's kind of crazy. Yeah, I got it 10.5 last night. 10:42. Wow. All right. I was not expecting that. I'm not going to give out the 6, but if you can get 10.5 somewhere, take that.
The news just came in. Spencer Rattler's back to being the number 1 prospect. It's 6 now.
he's going to get drafted number 1. But yeah, I mean, I'll just explain my reasoning behind the 10.5. I think Kentucky's super overrated. They got exposed by an Ole Miss team who I don't think is all that good. And I think this is just a weird vibe game where Kentucky's kind of down in the dumps. Will Levis isn't good. Neither is Spencer Rattler, but South Carolina, neither of these teams are going to score. South Carolina keeps it close. I don't think they win the game. I think Kentucky wins, but they're going to win like 24-19 or something. So if they win 24-19, I want that clipped and put it on the main. Next up, I think you guys are. Oh no, you have Illinois. I have. I'm on BYU against Notre Dame plus 4. That's weird that Notre Dame's a favorite. This game's in Vegas, right?
Yeah, Mormons versus Catholics in Vegas. Makes sense of that.
I don't know why Notre Dame's getting 3.5, 4 at a neutral site. Matt, could you explain that to me? Like, I don't understand it. Really.
I think Notre Dame beating UNC is getting them some love because like UNC was
UNC's not good.
Yeah, but they were getting hype on the year coming because at that point they were 3-0. They had beat App State. They were getting hyped up by national media. So I think since that was Notre Dame's last game, they didn't play last week. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I know BYU didn't look good against Utah State on a weird Friday. I think it was a Thursday night game.
That was Thursday. Yeah.
It's Thursday, right? That's a weird Thursday night game they didn't cover. They won the game like pretty easily, but I just don't think Notre Dame's very good. And I'm pretty sure is Pine still the quarterback right now? He's going to be number 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that guy stinks. And BYU has a pretty solid defense. Yeah, I think I'm going to take BYU money line. Honestly, I might shift from 4 to money line because there's no reason that. And also, I know it's in Vegas, but Provo is much closer to Vegas than Notre Dame is to Vegas, than South Bend is to Vegas.
Yeah, but
So
Notre Dame fans are everywhere.
yeah, that's true.
And
I think it's
I also don't think
packed
anyone that
stadium.
goes to BYU is allowed in Vegas. I think that's illegal.
Is that true?
No.
Oh, I was like, it wouldn't shock me, dude. They can't do anything. But I know I think that's gonna be it's on NBC. I thought it was on that's on cable. I thought that was on streaming only. But that'll be a good game.
Peacock, baby. Love Peacock.
Yeah. I'm on BYU. I think that they crushed Notre Dame, and because this is the worst Notre Dame team in quite some time. Andrew, you are on. Matt, are you done? Your slate's over?
Besides parlays, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Andrew, we'll kick it. I think this is the last official play on the board. Actually, no, let me just bring this up real quick. And Drewster's on ULM Monroe plus 14 against Coastal. I don't hate that play just because that's a weird, trappy 8 p.m. game where Louisiana Monroe will somehow keep it close. I know Coastal is much better. Grayson McCall is awesome, but that's a weird, trappy game.
This is not the same Coastal as it was last year. That's the issue.
They
lost way too many receiving production.
Yeah.
But I'm on this Illinois over 19.5 versus Iowa. And
total.
Yeah, the team total 19.5. Yeah, that's what I meant. Just because I just don't trust Iowa on the road right now. They allowed 10 to Rutgers. I mean, sure, that's I guess impressive, but I just think Illinois, they're running the ball way too good right now. I really love what Chase Brown's doing. DeVito, I don't know if Tommy DeVito has any relation to Danny DeVito. I need someone to research that. If he does,
in my mind, he does now. Yes.
Okay, cool. And
let's say he does. Let's say he's Danny DeVito's grandson.
Would make total sense, to be honest, man. Long live the Italians. Made an Italian sandwich earlier today for dinner. It's actually one of the best sandwiches I ever made in my life, but that's beside the point. Capicolo, pepperoni, salami, man, all the good stuff. I'm Polish and Mexican, dude. I'm not gonna say it right. But anyway, so yeah, I really like Illinois. My over 19 to score against Iowa. I just don't think Iowa's that good. I think Chase Brown's too good. I think DeVito is. I think he's better than what most people think. This is still an Illinois team that scored 34 at Wisconsin at Camp Randall last week. So yeah, I've got all the faith in Illinois to get 20 against Iowa at home.
That's a sickening game.
Yeah,
dude,
that game's not on my TV at 7:30 at night. I'm gonna have to be many beverages.
For me, it is. This is the worst. This is like the most sickening Big Ten West slate I think I've ever seen in a long time. And Nebraska's on who's Nebraska playing this week? I don't even think
Nebraska plays Rutgers on Friday night. Yeah,
that's bad. It's bad.
So before we wrap up the slate, I just want to, quickly run through these two games because I'm just intrigued by them. Kansas State is only getting, I know that they're on the road, but they're only getting 2 against Iowa State. And I feel like Kansas State's the much better team. Maybe there'll be an upset. I don't know, but that's just kind of okay. First of all, Kansas State shouldn't be 20. There should be I don't even think it's 25 maybe, but that's a weird line. That's very tricky. Vegas is kind of begging me to take Iowa State because this is what they did. I know this is the NFL, it's completely different, but they had the 49ers as favorites on Monday. And I was like, they're begging me to take the Rams. So I took the Niners, and the Niners crushed them. I know this is college football. It's Kansas State, Iowa State. It's completely different. It's a completely different game, but I don't think Iowa State's a bad bet here just because they want you to take Kansas State with that 20 ranking after Kansas State just beat Texas Tech.
I had Jeff Wilson for a touchdown in that game. I had a good night that night.
Woo-hoo-hoo. One time I hit, my friends, we all took Carson Wentz first touchdown on a Sunday night football game, plus 5,000, and the entire chat won lots and lots of money. It was the best day of my life.
The most sickening bet I've watched, I've hit much worse bets, but in terms of I bet it, and then I realized after I hit it, it should have been much higher odds. So it was week 17. It was Cowboys Eagles. I'm an Eagles fan. I just put whatever on this game. It was the old Buffalo QB, Tyree Jackson.
Oh yeah, he was tight end.
Was converted to tight end. He had 0 career catches coming into that game. I bet him to score the first touchdown. It was plus 1,600. He had 0 career catches. That should have been plus 5,000.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. They knew something.
It hit though. It hit.
Yeah, that's crazy. I Before just real quick. Remember when I think it was like week 2 or whatever, but when the Chargers playing the Chiefs, I saw some AI on TikTok. Some guy like puts in first touchdown for every game on
yeah.
AI, that guy, and he had Sony Michelle, and Sony Michelle was like plus 2,000 or something, 2,500, whatever it was crazy odds. So I threw $10 on. He got stuffed to the goal line, didn't score, but that's my story. So then the last game of the slate before we go into parlay corner and our locks. This is just a disclaimer. Stay away from the Alabama Texas A&M game. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take that back. What's Alabama first quarter? That's been my play for the year so far. I think I'm 5-0 betting Alabama first quarters.
I know it was 14 for first half, so it's got to be like 7.5 for first quarter.
All right, Alabama first quarter is a touchdown live on the podcast. That's in. So Alabama first quarter. Everything else, wash away. Stay away. But that's our slate. It's time to go into the parlay corner. I know, Andrew, you're taking a break from the can't lose parlay after losing on your first leg. So I got your back. I got 2 plays. But Matt, you want to kick us off?
I have what I'm calling the gas pedal parlay. I think these teams are going to put their foot on the gas. They're going to put some points on the board. So I got 3 noon games. I have Texas, Oklahoma over 65. I have TCU, Kansas over 68. And I have Purdue, Maryland over 58.5. So that's my gas pedal parlay of the week.
I like it. I like it a lot. I love the names just make me want to take it. So real quick, I'm going to shout out Andrew Rooster's parlay. He couldn't be on the show once again. Hopefully he's back next week because he's still the leader in the clubhouse. And he's holding out on us. It's kind of messed up. But Andrew Rooster's parlay. Sorry, give me a second. My laptop is bugging out. This is great radio. I'm just going to cut this, honestly. Where the hell is it?
Nah, I'd keep it on, man. It builds the suspense.
Oh, here it is. Okay. So Andrew's parlay, it's starting tomorrow night. He's on Nevada money line and then some alt line. So Nevada money line, Michigan minus 13.5 against Indiana, Pitt, Virginia Tech under 51.5, Air Force minus 2.5, Clemson minus 13.5. So those Nevada money line and those 4 alt lines get you to plus 400 parlay. So now to my plays. I made this live on the podcast. You show me 3 Maction games in a row, my brain is automatically going to fire to my Maction over teaser. I do one when every Tuesday night, Wednesday night, whenever they play these games, I tease the overs, I parlay the overs. That's just what I do. So we're taking the 6 points on 3 of these. Toledo, NIU over 54, Ball State, Central Michigan over 58, Kent State, Miami of Ohio over 51.5. I don't know what the odds are. You'll probably get it like plus 300 or something like that, plus 250. I haven't done the math yet. I just wrote it out on my little notebook here. But take that. Believe me, it's a lot of fun to just tail Maction games because usually they score a lot of points. So my dog parlays. Oh, didn't hit last week. Pretty bad, actually. I don't think it came close. But 2 weeks ago, I hit it. And you hit one. The rest are pretty much free for a couple weeks. So we're back at it. I got some alt lines to throw out at you. We're on Purdue plus 8. I think that's like, what are they, 2 right now? But
Yeah.
buy that up. Purdue plus 8. I think that Maryland wins by a touchdown or less. That's why I'm buying it up to plus 8. Ball State plus 10 against Central Michigan. Central Michigan coming into it, I thought it was going to be one of the best teams in the MAC. They have disappointed. Ball State's up and coming. They have this running back. I forget his name. It's escaping right now. But he's got beautiful long blonde hair. And he's going to run for a lot of yards in this game. Ball State plus 10. UTEP, I have them on the money line. I forgot I put them in this parlay, but I'm on the money line. And then here, UTEP plus 3. And then Wazoo plus 17. So that's Purdue plus 7, Ball State plus 10, UTEP plus 3, Wazoo plus 17. That gets you at a plus 700 parlay. And if you're on FanDuel, DraftKings, MyBookie, whatever it is, and they give you a little boost, use your boost on that. You'll thank me later. So those are our parlays and teasers. We're on a locks now. I'll start off. I effed up. I took a Mecca Okafor, and I forgot what that saying is. But I messed up last week. I was on Central Michigan Toledo over. It missed by a half point. We missed it by a half point. We missed going 4 in a row by a half point. But don't worry, we're back. I remember a couple weeks ago when we went with the Air Force Falcons against Colorado, and it hit 5-star white whale lock of the week. Air Force minus 10 against Utah State. We're going back to Air Force. This is a Saturday night game on FS1. You're going to want on your TV. You're going to want to put all your money on it because Air Force is going to run all over Utah State. I just love I love Kinnaman. I forget his name, Jacobs. I don't know. I love Zeke Daniels. They run the ball. That's all they do. They beat Navy it was a low scoring game. They only won by 3. That's because the Service Academy is always low scoring. Air Force -10. They're going to beat Utah State by 24. Take it and walk away with money.
Death, taxes, and Service Academy unders.
Yep.
I guess I'll go ahead. I got absolutely screwed on my lock from last week. My lock last week was Ohio State over 49.
Oh no!
They pushed. They pushed. Like, I don't know. I'm just one of those people where it's like I feel like pushes are always worse than losses because it's like
no, push is a win.
A push is a refund. That's what it is. But anyways, so this is what my lock of the week is. I've yet to hit a lock this year. I really have.
No.
I've yet to hit a lock this year. But maybe this lock will finally work in my favor. This is a win-win situation no matter what I do here. My lock is Northwestern +10 versus Wisconsin. And the reason why I'm going with this one is because Wisconsin has won in Evanston, freaking Ryan Field, only once since I was born. I was born in 97. They've won there like once. That was like 2016, I believe it was. The last time that they beat Northwestern at Ryan Field. And that was like the first time since like 96, I think it was. It's absolutely insane. Ryan Field is a death trap for Wisconsin. It always has been. I probably could go money line, but like if Wisconsin's going to win this game, it's going to be like what I said before. It's going to be like a 13-10 type game. This is going to be ugly. I might parlay it with the 44.5 under. This is probably going to be, I'm probably going to fall asleep in the first quarter, wake up in the third quarter, and it's going to be the same score. That's how bad it's going to be.
I hit my lock last week. I had a good time. I'm 3-2. I'm 3-2, but I have zero win streak. So I have one week 1, lost week 2, 1 week 3, lost week 4, 1 week 5. So if you want to make a fade, I'm probably gonna lose week 6. But it's my lock. Never losing. These have never lost once in my life. I've never missed a lock. Last I checked. But last week we all had close ones. I had Michigan, Iowa under 42. They scored 41. So we were all sweating it. But this week, I have in one of the ugliest games of the year, Colorado State versus Nevada. You guys have already talked about having Nevada -2.5. I'm with you as well. That's my lock. Colorado State, I looked it up. They are second to last in offense, and they are fourth to last in defense. They have a bottom 5 offense and defense in the country. Nevada, while still being very bad and underperforming expectations of what we expect, they are much closer to the middle of the Wolfpack.
Oh.
So while these are 2 very bad teams, one of them is significantly worse. One of them is the worst team in the country. One of them is just kind of a bad team. And this game is at Nevada as well, which the vibes are low in Nevada, as Liam will certainly tell you. The vibes are terrible. The vibes were coming for them when Incarnate Word came into town. The vibes aren't coming this week. Colorado State's not bringing any vibes. I need Van Drewster with his oar so we can say what we do to the state of Colorado in football. Besides Air Force, we fade them.
Colorado. We fade the state of Colorado, except Air Force.
No, we're fading them here. We're fading them again. Not Utah State. Nevada -2.5 lock. Bang.
Like it. So before I wrap it up, I'm just going to shout out Andrewster's lock. He lost his first lock last week. Very disappointing. He had Eastern Michigan -20. He is now 5-1, I think. No, 4-1. He's 4-1.
It is what it is.
3-2. He's 4-1. His lock is A&M Alabama under 51.5, which I think is a very good play because I don't know if Bryce Young is playing. I don't know if he's been cleared. A&M can't move the football. Max Johnson is not a good quarterback. Alabama's going to cover the first quarter spread. They're going to win this game, and this game's going under. So if we want to run through our locks, once again, I'm on Air Force -10. Go Falcons.
Northwestern +10 versus Wisconsin.
Nevada -2.5. Go Wolfpack.
Oh, and then Drewster's on under 51.5. That's our show. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Transfer Portal CFB on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You can find us pretty much anywhere. Please give us a like and subscribe. We'll see you next week. Let's win some money.